Sanco Regional Chairperson Abram Mashishi says nothing prohibits him from doing business with the state. This comes after reports emerged that he was part of an alleged meeting in which tenders were reportedly discussed with Gauteng MEC of Education, Panyaza Lesufi. Well, Mashishi is my guest this hour. Let's speak to him now. He talks to us from Tshwane. Mr. Mashishi, thank you very much for your time. Can I start off by asking the question about the status of the meeting that you attended, which was addressed by Panyaza Lesufi? What kind of a meeting was this in your assessment?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much once more to the viewers of the 405 Newzroom. I want to appreciate this opportunity because of the speculation of media sometimes is unfortunate. So what I can simply say to the viewers around the country is simple. The meeting was organized by my regional organizer through me, whereby there was project stoppage in Soshanguve High School, Funekile, where people were stopping the project to say, local communities say, it cannot happen that Bidvest Proti can do the cleaning or the fumigating of schools, whereas small company or small business are available. And it's how the meeting was initiated. And I requested the regional organizer to send me something in writing. He sent me the one. I forwarded to the MEC to say, MEC, there is a problem in this particular school where local business people are disrupting the project of fumigating. So I was not part of the meeting. That I want to put it very clear. I didn't attend the meeting. I facilitated the meeting as the regional chair of Sanco on the basis that each and everywhere around Tshwane as the leader, my mandate is to deal with bread and butter issues, particularly we as the vanguard of the poor and the working class. We are eager to any community member, irrespective of their political affiliation. When we raise issues of concern, I connect with the relevant department. Mr. Panyaza Lesufi was not the first person that I was engaging with him to come to that meeting. And it must be very clear to the viewers to say the meeting was not a secret meeting. It was an open daylight meeting where there were SGPs, young people, local community there, and Sanco members. Sanco was facilitating that process to make sure that if people got issues, they don't stop or intervene or disrupt project. They must learn to engage and check the clarity. So the MEC, on those reasons, he went to the school and had a meeting with the stakeholders in that meeting, and he addressed them, advised them to say, good people, if there are issues pertaining business opportunities within the department, these are the following procedures.
Mr. Mashishi, if this was a meeting of the community, why then would people suggest or make allegations that this was a business meeting?
You know, each and everywhere, as I'm saying, that the Panyaza Lesufi is not the first time when there are issues at schools he came. And we must applaud for the excellent job that he's doing. Because, as I'm saying, I've got the WhatsApp of that meeting where my regional organizer that is staying in social media sent me that WhatsApp. I forwarded to him that Sanco requests you to address the issue. It was not a business meeting. However, the concern was business. That people say Bidvest cannot fumigate the schools, whereas small businesses are available, are there. And I fully concur, because when I talked to the MEC, I said it cannot happen over our dead body, where the traditional business people are still doing business in our community without our involvement. Nothing about us without us.
All right.
And that's the message.
Let me come in there then. Let me come in there then, Mr. Mashishi. So you're saying that you were not part of this meeting,
Yes.
but very strangely, the MEC makes reference to you. And he speaks in that meeting as though he was speaking directly to you. I want to quote directly from what he is alleged to have said as a result of this recording. He says, and I quote, "I should know whether I can trust you. As you know how tenders come out. I trust Comrade Mashishi. I won't risk my future without knowing who to trust. Let's trust each other so that we can all get empowered." You insist you were not part of that meeting.
Yes, thank you very much. I was not part, unfortunately. I was not part of the meeting. And I fully concur with the MEC when you talk about the trust. Remember, the issue of trust, people will misquote you and saying the MEC will say, saying he will give us tender. I've been more than 35 years in business, and I've never done business with any government department, including the Department of Education. I'm still saying I'm not doing any business with them. I'm doing business with private sector. However, that doesn't stop me to do business with government and particularly Department of Education or any education, any department that is government related. Because I'm not a government official. I'm a leader of the civic organization with my right to be a business person. So when the MEC, because it's just a pity the clip doesn't narrate everything that where the MEC have started when he opened the meeting. It only because people have got their own negative agenda, the West drivers that they want to tarnish the MEC reputation, including myself. If the clip was honest, it was supposed to start where the meeting have started until where the MEC responded. Because me as Sanco, when we request the MEC to attend the meeting, it was not basically a tender meeting. A tender meeting is a brief where officials will be there and brief you regarding the requirement. And when the MEC said there are opportunities around the department or there are opportunities in the school governing body, there's nothing wrong. If the media want to tell us to say when the information is being given by the public rep, if there is any crime that the MEC have omitted, let it be. I don't think any problem, any in terms of breaching the law to say there are opportunities in the SGBs. If you want to do business with the department, there are processes that you need to follow. You need to be on the database so that you are being captured on the panel of service providers, so that when we want somebody from Tswane or from whatever the case it might be, it will be pulled from the panel. The MEC have explained explicitly to say how this process is being unfolded. He also say, I don't want to be part because at the end of the day, people will misquote me saying I'm tampering with their tender processes.
All right.
So the media must be honest and must portray the real information, not to portray something as if they are being bored by using by some of the West drivers within the ANC themselves.
All right. So let's be clear, therefore, as we conclude on this matter. The meeting itself was not a tender meeting, as you've already said, but there are those who are very clear that this was a meeting where the MEC, to use the words of the EFF, was brazenly plotting patronage and the robbery of the department that he leads. So you are very clear that MEC Lesufi is not guilty of planning to give tenders to his friends.
That's why I'm saying, and I repeat, because of my name is implicated there, let the media people of the SIU investigate my company. I've got 2 companies, and I'm ready to disclose those companies as they must check whether I'm part of any project that is within the Department of Education. As I'm saying, that doesn't prohibit me to do business with the department. It's my prerogative right, and we are still going to make everybody, not the MEC only, every MEC that is being deployed in the strategic position to government, because of we are dealing with bread and butter issues, to come and account and tell us where are the opportunities. I'm talking to the Premier. I'm talking to Khosi Ramkhopa regarding the Moiproof project. I'm engaging each and every person because my role is to deal with bread and butter issues, and not only for ANC members, irrespective of your political affiliation. We will engage with the MEC, we will engage with the Premier. The last time I was talking to the Premier saying, tell me your recovery plan in terms of empowering local business community of Gauteng, as far as the young people, the women are concerned. We want those strategies. Those people are account. They must account.
All right.
We deploy them.
Mr. Mashishi,
yes.
Let me end our conversation then with this. Are any of your companies at the moment in any tender, particularly around the fumigation of schools? Because clearly this meeting was about disruptions because the community there was protesting that a company from outside is being given tenders to fumigate schools. Are any of your companies in the run-up to do exactly that?
I don't have any company. I think we were the company that benefited from 430 million that is in the picture. There is a list there. There is no company that belongs to me. I don't know. One of all those companies that were publicized, I am not part, and I'm still saying there is nothing wrong to talk to the MEC to do business. Remember, tendering process, it has its own downfall. The MEC can promise you a tender, but when it goes to the preferential procurement policy, you need to be adjudicated according to your functionality, your technicality, your finance. There are a lot of challenges that are being scored before, because there will be a threshold of 70%. If you don't get that threshold, and you are not going to be given a tender. That's the how preferential procurement committee is being conducted. The MEC have got nothing to do with the procurement. If I tender, I qualify, I score, I will be awarded a tender. Nothing's wrong about that.
All right, Mr. Mashishi, as a person who leads a civic movement in the area of Tshwane, 431 million is said to have been spent fumigating empty schools last year. What's your response to that?
We stood up and saying, if there's any corruption element, the MEC must be accountable. That is why the matter has been taken to the SIU. We are patiently waiting for the SIU report, because media portray just lies, the propaganda, because remember we are facing a conference of the ANC, and there are a lot of speculation, there are a lot of West drivers that are behind the scene, and we are aware of them. So let's wait for the SIU to give a detailed report regarding the fumigating of schools. That 430 million was spent. If the MEC found to be implicated, he must simply go.
Okay.
On that one, we're not going to buy it. If officials are implicated, they must be fired.
All right.
Simple.
That's Mr. Mashishi. Thank you very much for your time. Abram Mashishi, Regional Chairperson of the South African National Civics Organization in the area of Tshwane, responding to allegations that mentioned his name. As you heard, he was not part of that meeting, and none of his companies have ever done business with the state.